Ever since the Porsche Cayman debuted in 2006, it has proven that you don't need to step all the way up to a 911 to get the soul and heart of a Porsche. The second generation Cayman, or the 981, was last redesigned in 2014 and featured a new body, longer wheelbase, and a redesigned interior. Yet, it still slots in between the 911 and Boxster in terms of price. So let's go ahead and check out this 2015 Porsche Cayman and see if it's a worthy choice for a little two-door sports car. Now, styling on the Cayman is very traditional Porsche here with the circular round headlights, and it almost looks like a mini 911 to be honest. I also really do love these 20-inch Carrera S wheels we do have here. And it's pretty hard to mistake this vehicle for something else but a Porsche. And the overall styling of the vehicle, I really do love it. Now, new for the 2015 model year is essentially the addition of the high-performance version, the GT4. And the GT4 only comes with a 6-speed transmission paired with a bigger, more powerful engine. Other trim levels are essentially unchanged apart from gaining a new rear-view camera and parking sensors. Now here goes the key fob for the Cayman. It's fairly stylish overall. Almost looks like a car. And then you have your unlock, your lock to release the front part of your trunk, and then to release the rear too. And then you have your Porsche logo right here as well. Now it is a white exterior color. What's also pretty cool is that these intakes are also functional too, they're not fake. You also do have a black leather interior. Manual driver's seat adjustments, and then you do have power recline. Now, stepping on inside of the Cayman here, it's a pretty small interior. If you're looking for more room, certainly go with the 911. But this is, of course, a little two-door sports car. And then the interior is fairly nice too, very high quality and stylish. And what you're hearing there is a 2.7 liter flat 6-cylinder engine. Now you do have a full leather wrapped steering wheel, of course. Coming to your transmission, you have the optional 7-speed dual clutch automated manual. Porsche likes to call it their PDK. It says it right here too. You can shift the vehicle manually here on the gate or via the paddle shifters. Your base transmission is going to be a 6-speed manual on the Cayman. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the lights and the hazards too. Automatic driver's side window. Heated exterior mirrors. Halogen projector beam headlights, and you also do have your fog lights, which are LEDs. Now, since we do have a mid-engined vehicle, we can't really see under the hood like a typical normal vehicle and under the engine bay, but this is where the engine lies, is right in here. It's a 2.7 liter flat 6-cylinder producing 275 horsepower at 7,400 RPM and 214 pound-feet of torque at 4,500 RPM, with EPA estimates being a pretty good 22 in the city and 32 on the highway. I was actually very surprised by those numbers. And it is rear-wheel drive, while a 6-speed manual transmission is standard, and then the 7-speed PDK automatic is optional. Now your optional powertrains do include a 3.4 liter 6-cylinder engine, and then the high performance version does come with a 3.8 liter 6-cylinder engine too. Since the Cayman is a mid-engined car, we do have a front trunk, or what I like to call it, the frunk. It's actually pretty spacious too. And this isn't the only storage compartment that you have for the Cayman. There's actually one in the rear too. Pretty neat. Not a lot of sports cars even have this. Now, some potential competitors for the Cayman, you do have the Nissan 370Z, BMW M4, as well as the Chevrolet Corvette. Like I said, EPA estimates are 22 city, 32 highway. Total vehicle price for this particular one is $67,385. Very sexy styling. LED tail lamps with LED turn signal indicators. And you also do have this little rear wing that pops up. And the LED third brake light. You also do have a central exhaust tip. Power windows, power mirrors too. And let's go ahead and rev it up. Very nice. Love the way that flat six sounds. I would love to have the GT4 just to show you guys what that sounds like. Now, as far as build quality and materials go inside of the Cayman here, not really an issue to worry about. It's typical German build quality and materials. Nice soft touch materials up here on the upper door panel, mid door panel, and armrest. And on the dashboard too. Everything fits well together. The plastics are the highest of quality, and even in this part it's nice and soft touch, but this is all to be expected here. There's just not a whole lot of stitching going on inside of here, and that's the latest trend in automotive interiors, is to have a lot of stitching everywhere, but the Cayman keeps it pretty bare bones when it comes to stitching. The only stitching you'll really find is on the seats right here. But overall, it's a really nice interior. Build quality and materials are just excellent. Now, as far as visibility goes inside of the Cayman, it's a typical sports car. Now, you do have a little bit of side glass area. Outward visibility is okay. Rearward visibility is a little compromised, but that's to be expected. This isn't your typical little family four-door sedan with lots of glass area all around. Now, as far as the seats go in the Cayman, they're fairly comfortable overall. Pretty supportive too on the side bolsters when you're going around those twisty corners on canyon roads. Thigh support is also okay too. Overall, they're fairly comfortable. Now, coming to the steering wheel, it's high quality feeling. However, it does look very bare bones, especially for $67,000. There's not a whole lot going on here in the steering wheel, and I wish they would make it just a little more filled in with buttons and stuff, but they do that in typical Porsche fashion on their sports cars. Now, coming to the gauges, I really do love the gauges. Smack down right in the middle, you have your RPM gauge, and then what gear you're in, and then also a digital speedometer. Coming over here, you have your traditional speedometer, and then you have your trip odometer down there too. Coming to that little screen, basically it's all controlled by this little stalk right here, which is pretty interesting. And then it shows you a little mini navigation system. You also do have your trip odometer information on here too, and then a digital clock down there in your exterior temperature readout, tire pressure monitoring, and then you have your fuel gauge, other vehicle information, audio. You could change your radio station, which is pretty neat. Phone, if you have a phone connected to the system. Then here's your navigation. You can actually change the different map screens, which is pretty nice. Overall, I really do love that little screen that you get on the Cayman. Coming up here, you do have a manually dimming rearview mirror, garage home link, interior illumination lighting, which are LEDs. Now coming down to these controls, you have your AC controls, and it's pretty easy to use once you figure it out. And basically you do have your temperatures on this little dial right here, and then your fan speeds. Pretty easy to use overall. And then you have your different zones. However, your passengers, first-time passengers, won't get it straight off the bat. You do have your heated seats and then your ventilated front seats too. And then down here you have your sport mode. And that does change the sound of the engine quite a bit. It also changes the throttle response as well as the steering too. You have your traction control off button and then your automatic start-stop system. So when you come to a complete stop in the vehicle, it'll actually shut down the engine to conserve fuel. This is another reason why this Powertrain has such high fuel economy numbers. And then this is to lower and raise your rear wing. Pretty nice there. And then you have your ashtray. I love this nice trim going on down here. And then you have your center console. And then down there you will find a 12-volt power outlet. Not a whole lot of storage going on here. And then in the glove box, this is where you will find some of your different media options, like your USB port, your auxiliary input, and then another 12-volt power outlet. The glove box is also pretty high quality overall. Kind of slams right down just a tad bit, but it is lined with felt at least. Now coming to the main infotainment system here, it's pretty easy to use overall. The responsiveness is actually pretty good, lightning quick here. Your different media options do include a jukebox, your auxiliary input, CD player, AM, FM radio with XM satellite radio, and then your USB too. Coming to tuner, basically you can change your different radio stations from here, and then you have your different presets. Manual tune, this is where you could just manually tune it to a different radio station. And then coming to phone, you can find the telephone and hook up your Bluetooth phone. Have all your stored contacts on there as well as the integrated dial pad. Coming to your navigation, you can enter in your address and then points of interest. That's if you click on navigation. If you click on the map, that shows you straight up just the map. The map quality is okay, and it's actually pretty good overall. You have your digital clock down there. It gives you your points of interest. You also do have live traffic and live weather on this bad boy too. If you click on that right there, this actually changes the different directions of view. Pretty nice. And then if you click on source down here, this is where you can just change your different sources. Pretty easy to do. Then you have your different sound settings like your bass, treble, balance, fader. Coming to info, gives you your traffic messages, location info. Overall, this system is pretty easy to use on a day-to-day basis, especially with the lightning quick responsiveness. We also do have a Bose surround sound system, and the audio quality is pretty good too. Coming up here, you also do have your power door lock switch. Also love how they put the Cayman logo right there. So it's interesting little details that make you enjoy driving a Porsche. Now, as far as driving the Cayman goes, that is certainly the most important part about the whole experience. Now, you'll find that the handling is so responsive, it's so nimble, and this car is just very fun to drive, and it almost feels like the car is more fun to drive than it really is, which is pretty interesting. It's actually even more fun to drive than the 911 too. It's just a lot more nimble and responsive. The steering is just amazing in this car too. It's just a real enjoyable driving experience. The ride quality is also decent too, but it's not the most comfortable riding vehicle in the world. But the handling is just so good in this vehicle. The transmissions also do shift pretty good, pretty slick too, and it's very responsive when it shifts, and very smooth in its shifting too. Now, power from the 2.7 liter flex 6-cylinder engine is very exceptional as well, and you certainly won't need more power. Even though it only has 275 horsepower, it makes use of that power very well. And then also, if you do want more power out of the Cayman, they do have the GT4, which comes with the 3.8 liter 6-cylinder engine, which is pretty powerful. But overall, you certainly do not need more power in this vehicle. There's ample amounts of it. Alright, and let's go ahead and shut it down. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the vehicle. Now, at least they do give you a little storage compartment back here too. It's pretty nice that they do offer that. You also do have power recline and a manual passenger seat. Now, you can also flip this part up by going like that, which makes for a little bit more storage, but not too much. So with this very sleek styling, it's very rewarding driving experience, and it's very fuel efficient and powerful powertrains. The 2015 Porsche Cayman is an excellent choice for a little two-door sports car. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.